Hey, this is Johnny Boy Boxing at Fight Hype. I'm here with the legendary Robert Garcia. How you feeling, Robert?
I'm feeling good. Thanks for having me, Johnny.
And thank you for coming in. I want to get right into it. Virgil Ortiz has been in the spotlight for quite some time now. Him and Boots were supposed to get it on. What are your thoughts on people calling Boots a duck at this current time?
Well, look, I don't really, because I've been in boxing many years, and sometimes my boxers uh might say something, but maybe the management, their own promoters might think differently. So, it has a lot to do with not just the fighter. There's the managers are involved. Sometimes the trainer is involved, the promoter. So, a fighter might agree and say, yes, I'm doing this, but then the promoters, the managers advise him to do something else, and it kind of makes him look bad, but it was just the wrong things to say. I don't want to think he's ducking, because in boxing the fighters are there to fight. They'll fight. Maybe his advisors are just guiding him a little bit and telling him maybe it's not the right time, and I don't blame him. Maybe it is true. After his last performance, a lot of people might have thought, man, you have no business doing at 154, especially against Virgil Ortiz. It's very difficult to agree to saying he's ready, especially after his last performance. So I don't think it's that he's ducking. I think it's just they're just making the right decisions.
Definitely. So moving forward, Boots will probably stay at 147 and try to unify. That was the statement that he made. So we'll see what happens with that. But Virgil will be fighting Madrimov on February 22nd. Is that correct?
As of right now, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Madrimov was scheduled to fight next week on the 21st. Where I always, as soon as I read that he was gonna fight both fights, I was thinking there's no way he's gonna do that. He's gonna have to cancel, make something, find an excuse, find a reason to skip the December 21st and go straight into a Virgil fight, because it's obviously a way bigger fight. So I'm pretty sure it's a bigger payday for him too. So that's what I was expecting, and that's exactly what happened. Good thing is, uh, his opponent, can't even think of his name right now, but he they're still gonna find a replacement. He's still fighting, because we were in Arizona last weekend, and when we heard that news and talking about it, Manny Robles is there. We're good friends, and we talked about it, and that's the first thing we both agreed. We're like, at least they found a replacement, and Wojciech is still fighting. He's still going to be on that card. So maybe not, the fight's not going to be as big as it would have been against Madrimov, but he's still fighting, which is, it's good for the fighter, for the team, for the trainer, everybody else, because the holidays are coming. It's the end of the year. Everybody wants to fight at the end of the year, so it's a good thing that he's still fighting on the 21st.
Definitely. And what about Virgil and Crawford? If that fight was to present itself, how do you see that fight playing out? Would you jump at the chance to fight that fight right now?
Well, we would take the fight right away. I know it's not an easy fight. It's not an easy fight. Crawford's a great fighter, pound for pound, number one or number two, number three, whichever, whoever you ask, because I think Inoue, Crawford, and Usyk are top three. So you could say in the order that you want. Uh, I think he'll fight anybody, but I think he's also looking into, he's already 37, 38, somewhere around there, where he's looking for the biggest fight out there, the biggest payday. And I think it would be a big fight, but I think he's looking at something like Canelo, where it's gonna triple the money that he could make against Virgil. So he's just playing it smart. I don't blame him either. He's already 37 or 38, and looking at the best fights out there for him when it comes to financially. I can't say he doesn't want to fight, because he's a warrior. He's one of the best fighters in the world. So he'll fight anybody. He's fought the best fighters out there. So I don't think it's because he doesn't he's not, I don't think he's afraid of fighting Virgil. I just think he's being smart with his career at the time, the age, and the biggest fights out there is maybe looking after the Canelo. And from what I kind of hear rumors, that it might happen by May.
Wow. So based off Crawford's performance against Madrimov, you at 37 years old, do you think he's slowing down? Did you see signs of him, getting older?
Well, the thing is that I think styles, and Madrimov is an awkward guy, difficult guy, boxed pretty good, So I think styles make fights. I think Crawford's still one of the best fighters out there, but he is up there in age, and fighters do age from one day to the other. We could have a fighter look sensational one fight, and then next fight, 8 months later, he doesn't look the same. It's happened before, so I don't know. That's the only, that's the only thing that we won't know until he fights again. He could look sensational. He could look better than ever. But there is that chance. It happens in boxing.
But like you said, if he does face Canelo, and that those are the rumors. I'm hearing the same rumors on my end as well. If that happens, will he be sensational against Canelo? Who do you pick in that fight? How does that fight play out?
I pick Canelo. Canelo's bigger, stronger. Canelo could take a really good punch. So I pick Canelo, but I do see a good fight. I do see Crawford putting up a good fight. Crawford and Canelo's not much, not I think Crawford might be even taller, or maybe they're around the same height. So, but Canelo's just the bigger guy, physically stronger, physically. But I think Crawford puts up a good fight. I think it'll be a good fight. I think at least the first 8 rounds, I think they'll be very competitive.
Definitely. Now, switching gears to Spence and Fundora. Fundora holds the WBO and the WBC. How do you see that fight playing out? And then Virgil, maybe he can take the winner of that fight. What do you think?
Is that fight already something that's going to happen? Because I hear that it might not. So
I hear the same
if
thing.
it does,
yeah, it does happen though.
you
What do you think happens in that fight?
right at this moment, because of Spence's last performance, I think I have to go with Fundora. Fundora's just one of those guys that I'm surprised Spence picked to fight him coming off a pretty bad loss. Nobody's out there getting in line to fight Fundora. That guy's, too tall, awkward, difficult, and I don't think there's many guys lining up to fight him. It's a challenge for him, and I actually applaud. I respect his decision. Coming off a pretty bad beating, and looking the way he did against somebody like Fundora, it's gonna be, that's challenging, and you got to give him respect for doing that. But I think it's the wrong fight. It's the wrong fight for him.
Definitely. And so is Virgil Ortiz the giant slayer? Is he the one to slay Fundora? And how does he slay the giant if he does get that
Well,
fight?
look,
You pick up two
the thing is that
fight.
yeah, but with Virgil, we still have, February 22nd. We can't, we know Madrimov is the real deal. We have to prepare for that. After that, if everything goes well, then yeah, Fundora would be the perfect fight. I don't, like I said, I don't think there's many fighters lining up to fight Fundora because of his style, his height. But Spence is, and I think Virgil, everything goes well, February 22nd. I think Virgil has no problem fighting him. I think we'll be, if that's what's next, and that's what promoters work on, then I'll be more than happy to do it.